Hello, this is Simon Chilembo here. So, see, I write, I am as I am in the flesh. If I can't vanish into thin air, if the earth can't open up and swallow me down, I don't know how not to speak in the face of joy, in the face of adversity, in the pungency of ignorance, lies puked onto my face. So I write so I can breathe. That's an excerpt from one of my most recent poems called "And So I Write." The excerpt essentially says much about one of the reasons as to why I wrote this book, COVID-19 and I, Killing Conspiracy Theories. Day before yesterday, it came out in the news on Norwegian television that research shows that there is fear and skepticism amongst the immigrants in Norway, immigrants from Africa and Eastern Europe, with regard to coronavirus vaccines. Well, this immigrant here has no issues at all, about getting vaccinated against coronavirus. And that is because this immigrant here is me, is Simon Chilembo. I am that I am, and I know what I know. My mind is open to what it is open to knowledge, to science and critical thinking. I really don't have any problem with the choices that people make for themselves with regard to how they want to live and how they want to end their lives. We live in a free world, but that is to the extent that these choices that people make with and for their own lives don't affect my life negatively, and of course the life of the wider society. So in writing this book here, I am responding to what to me has been this huge influx of information, and campaigns and lots of stuff, videos and emails, SMSs and WhatsApp everywhere. People talking a lot of stuff that don't make sense to me as regards to the origins and the purposes of COVID-19, coronavirus disease. And so I wrote this book initially, from a personal challenge. I was talking with colleagues of mine, colleagues, friends, Karina and Ariel. Ariel especially challenged me, from our discussions to write about how the realities and myths around coronavirus disease, COVID-19, have impacted me. The title describes more an observational than experiential discourse because I have not contracted the disease thus far. So, COVID-19 and I is the title, and then the subtitle, Killing Conspiracy Theories. And killing, in this case, is a double-edged meaning. People listen and follow misleading information and ignore sound advice from scientists, from medical expertise, from the authorities, and then they fall sick and they die in worst case scenarios. And then when I counter these negative campaigns, this information that goes out, and then I in a way seek to kill the conspiracy theories. I'm not an evangelist. I'm not out to sell this message and have create this hallelujah kind of spirit, and no, I'm not into that. I'm just sharing my thoughts with the world and to those who care to read and listen, and then people will make their own conclusions. That's all. That's my goal. I'm not into overtly attacking individuals for the messages that they spread, good or bad. It doesn't matter. I'm not into that. And that is essentially because, especially those that I don't agree with, I'm not interested in the noise, that, people hold their opinions and they, that's fine. And I hold mine. But that does not mean that I'm shy of debate, or personal attacks on me, that if I'm attacked, I will, and I can, defend myself, both physically and mentally, and I hope it can only be, it will only be if I'm challenged, or attacked intellectually, and I can do that. And I attempt in this book to alleviate fears, inspire hope, and fortify faith in the good of humanity, and yes, God in all her manifestations and interpretations, by sharing my thoughts as conditioned by my ever-growing new knowledge, pursuance, inclination, that reflecting my philosophy of life as influenced by and expressed through my innate intellectual manifestation capacities, my social upbringing attributes, my academic and professional training, founded critical thinking disposition. So I argue that we from the outset, we as individuals and forming part of collectives, but from the outset, as individuals, we are who we are, we are what we are, and that we are what we are, is not accidental, it's inherent qualities, and that emanate from how we are wired, how our brains function, how our brains interpret information, and how they make choices out of the conclusions that they make from that, because of our internal construction, from the hormonal system, all in the central nervous system, everything, that it's a manifestation of that. So when a person takes a stand, that to them corona does not exist, might say that it's real, for them it doesn't exist. They have their own reasons. It's they are driven by these internal forces, that ultimately express themselves, verbally, physically, and behaviorally, generally. as the ultimate expression, of how their brains work. So that's fine. So one of the reasons, the major reason that I'm not interested, in debates, with people who have hardcore stands on their views is that we don't make each other any the wiser. I mean, from my point of view, from my life experience, things that I've gone through, my education, my upbringing, my lifestyle, there is nobody in the world, as things stand today, there is nobody in the world who can convince me that coronavirus is just an illusion. That's for me, that doesn't make sense. So I'm not interested in wasting my time and energy, on people who, for their reasons, it can be just the way, if they do things scientifically at all, it may be the way they interpret science, given their backgrounds, academic and whatever. It may be their faith, religions, and the Christians and other religions. That's fine. That you can it's a very difficult thing to change a person's mental disposition, their beliefs, their belief systems, if they do not want to change themselves. People have to acknowledge, have to make this conscious choice that, okay, I hear you, or I see, and this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, and therefore I'll take this path. It's a personal choice. You can't force. You can only inform. We can only share ideas. And talking about ideas, in my work, when I write critical pieces, critical essays and all, if I attack anything, I don't, like I say, I'm not interested in individuals. I attack ideas. That's how it works. But ideas come from individuals. Yeah, that's true, But so when I don't mention names specifically, it's because it's not interesting, Perhaps if I mention your name, it is because what you say or what you do has a positive impact on me. If it doesn't make any positive impact on me, I most likely will not mention your name. But if you read or listen to things that you say, you might find yourself in there, rightly or wrongly. Again, it's how your mind works. So I can only say that as for me, I'm inclined to follow science. I believe in God. I'm a Christian, non-fanatical Christian. And when people ask me, what relationship do I have with God, it's personal, it's scientific, it's philosophical, And my God, I quarrel with her, and things that don't make sense to me, they don't make sense. And so there are things that, God, according to me, with all due respect, to believers of all sorts, there are things God can't fix. But God, has given us this amazing thing called brain, that we must allow ourselves to think, to be reasonable, to understand, that everything in life, including God, has limitations. So science can only go so far, and this is why vaccinations, vaccines and all, when they come out, they tell you, the efficacy, of this vaccine, is 75%, is 80%, it's 90%, 95%. There's that allowance, it's almost impossible to be 100%, with these things. You got to understand that. So when people fall sick or even die, out of having taken certain vaccines, it's, people, we are different. Our internal constitutions are not a constant. The physiology is constant. The internal organs, etc. But the structures, and all, the cell, the molecular cell buildup and everything, etc. They vary from person to person. So people will be allergic to milk. People will be allergic to all sorts of things, including avocado. And it is how it is. And when people fall sick, whether they are green, yellow, black, white, it doesn't matter. When people react to a vaccine or any other form of medicine that's supposed to help against a given condition, some people will respond, as expected within the defined parameters of making this product here, producing it in the lab. There's procedures, to follow, and so it will work for some people. It won't work for others, for a myriad of reasons. This is how it works. And the beauty of science is that if it doesn't work here, scientists investigate why and how. This is how this is how human society progresses all the way, be it medicine, be it engineering, be all aspects of life. We learn from mistakes to the extent that we allow ourselves to think and act scientifically. If we leave everything, to our ancestral spirits and gods, and then we have problems. We've got to find a balance here. I am not offering any remedies here. It's essentially, it's a philosophical discourse. It's just how I think, my views, my understanding of the disease itself, and also this its impact on society. It's important to make this clear. I am neither a medical doctor nor am I qualified in any allopathic medicine sciences. I do not wield any political or social control power either. Therefore, I am certainly not in a position to offer or suggest any cures for or solutions as to how to manage the pandemic. I am a thinker, I am a writer, I am a poet. Through my works, I address myself to the individual. Particularly with my poetry, I seek to stir emotions, inspire thought, and encourage action towards life-supporting choices. My intention and hope are to inspire unfearful objectivity, curiosity, and broad-minded inquiry inclinations, that in times of proliferations of all kinds of information from all kinds of sources in the face of potentially life-threatening natural or man-made catastrophes on our planet and the universe at large. So I encourage people to buy this book, order through me directly with any questions, and just get in touch with private mail or SMS, WhatsApp. I look forward to hearing from you, from my readers. Do get in touch, and we see how this goes. Thank you for your attention. Stay well, live strong, always. Bye-bye.